Hey everyone, so I don't know if many of you may have noticed I've got a watch here, the FitBit Blaze. I've had it now for about 2-3 months now, so I just thought I'd give it just a quick review, my thoughts on it, whether or not I recommend you buying it, etc. So I bought it mainly for running and activity tracking. So obviously it's one of them kind of watches that it tracks your steps, how many calories you've burned. You know, it comes with its own little ecosystem, its own app. You know, you've got like a dashboard, and it tracks your sleep as well. That was another feature that I was keen on. I was keen on tracking my sleep and seeing how much I'm sleeping, if I'm getting quality sleep, all that sort of stuff. So yeah, it does all of that. It tracks your heart rate. I was interested in tracking the heart rate as well for both runs and rides. I don't know if many of you have seen, but on Strava I always put 2 rides up. Usually are private, and put commuters for the heart rate ride. So this I'll use to track my cycling for heart rate, and then I'll use obviously my Garmin, you know, because I found the chest straps were absolutely useless. Whereas this wrist heart rate is much better. So anyway, I'll literally then look at two rides on Strava. I'll have my heart rate one, which I always private, because I don't obviously want to put out two rides for one ride, because obviously it's not fair, and I'll put it as a commute as well. And then literally what I'll do is I'll check over my heart rate and see what my heart rate is like in certain zones, etc. See if it's getting lower, which it usually is, things like that. And obviously the watch, it tells me my average heart rate as well during the rides. It tells me runs as well. It does runs. The only thing is, this is what I'll warn you about. If you're someone who runs and you take your phone with you, whether it's for music or contacting people or whatever, then this watch is perfect for you. I was that person. I'm that person, I guess, because if I'm running, I want to have my phone with me for my music at least. I have been going on some runs with Brittany where I haven't needed my phone, because, you know, we're talking, we're not listening to music. So I thought, I'll leave my phone at home, but I can't, because this doesn't have built-in GPS. It has assisted GPS, which is basically it connects to your phone via Bluetooth, and then it uses your phone's GPS, which, like I said, isn't a problem if you're always going to be running, carrying your phone with you. Now, it's not a problem because you can get pouches, you can get little armbands, things like that for your phone. So I would say it's a minor thing, but it's certainly cheaper than the Garmin one, and it's definitely comparable to the Garmin Vivo Active HR, I think, which is the one that Brittany's got, and it's definitely comparable for that, for pace, GPS even as well. It's comparable for heart rate as well. So yeah, and it's comfortable as well to wear all day. Like I barely know I've got it on. I do like to not wear it for one day, to give my wrist like a breather, you know, so it can breathe, sort of thing. And I do usually take it off during the shower, but it is waterproof, but not swimming proof. I will say it's a good watch. You know, I enjoy using it. You get notifications as well. If you're connected via Bluetooth, you get notifications for what is it? If you basically anything on your phone, so Messenger, Line, WhatsApp, all that sort of shit, Facebook, you know, it comes up and you can actually scroll through and read it as well, so that's quite good. You can apparently control your music, although I've never tried. I'll actually try and show you some of the screens as well, or at least explain it to you. You get quite a few screens. Okay, so here's the main screen. It's heart rate, steps. You can press this and get different things. You got today, you see steps, BPM, hours active, kilometers, calories, floors, etc. You got exercise, so you can go on here, run, bike, weights, yoga, all that sort of stuff. You can customize it. I don't use this. You got this new relaxing, it's this breathing. Timer, I use this is very useful. You got stopwatch and countdown. Alarms, you can have a silent alarm come on in the morning, just vibrates, so you don't have to wake up your partner. Settings, just the basics really. You can also shut it down. I gave you a quick look at the watch. Hopefully you can see it, but you know what it's like filming a screen with a camera, so just so I'll give you a quick look at it. Obviously you can look more in depth, you know, yourself with the watch, but would I recommend the watch? Like I said, if you're not worried about the GPS, I certainly would recommend it. It's been good for me. It's really changed my life. You've actually got access to the FitBit app as well, which is very good for nutrition tracking and, you know, tracking. I've always wanted to know a rough estimate of amount of calories that I'm burning each day, you know, and calories I'm eating, stuff like that, and it gives me a very good estimate of that. Obviously with my riding and stuff, and any ride that I do on Strava and Garmin get linked to my account as well, so it literally counts. So as soon as I go out and ride in the morning, it counts that, and it doesn't count twice as well, because you know how I said that I use the watch and my Garmin for the ride, because it's at the same time and same GPS coordinates, etc. It doesn't count it twice. It's like, oh, he's already done this, so we won't count it, sort of thing. And it estimates the calories based on heart rate. It even if I do a ride on Strava, it even syncs with what my heart rate was on the watch, and then comes up on Fitbit what my heart rate was during that time. So it's pretty clever like that. It's a very good watch. It's got a lot of details on it. You know, it's obviously it's nice. It's obviously got the time. You know, they haven't forgot that people like to see the time. So it's got the time on it. You just sort of raise your wrist up like this, and then it turns on, and then sort of raise your wrist back, and it turns off. I do turn that setting off during sleep, because it can get a bit annoying, keep lighting, especially shining it in your partner's face or whatever is not very nice. But yeah, it's a really good watch. I definitely recommend it. It was about £150, I believe. I actually got it from Thailand, but it wasn't any cheaper here than it is, you know, if you bought it from Amazon.co.uk. Not sure how much it is in the US or anywhere else. I guess you'll have to look at Amazon or whatever your local sort of best price store is, but it's definitely a good watch. I'm not sure if they're going to bring out a new one soon or anything like that, but certainly this is the Fitbit Blaze 1. It's a good watch. I definitely recommend it for running, cycling. You know, if you want watts and things like that on it, it's not going to happen. It's just basic. So I wouldn't recommend it if you're a really keen cyclist and you want to you know, obviously that's where the Garmin actual head unit for the bike comes in. But if you do want to just simply you know, you go long walks, runs, things like that, not swimming, it's waterproof, but it's not submersible proof or whatever. It doesn't do swimming. So yeah, if you just want to do the basics on it, activity tracking, sleep tracking, running, walking, you know, basic cycling. Like I use it for commuting sometimes, because it's like, oh, I don't need to put the Garmin on if I'm just commuting. I'm not really looking at the watts anyway, and it's nice to not look at. It's nice to have a break from the watts and just simply just press a button on my watch, which is always on anyway. So yeah, it's a good little device. It's definitely been worth. One thing I will say though is if you see here, the bottom right is cracked. It's very easy to crack. So luckily I'd actually put one of them little glass screen protectors on, and that keeps getting cracked. I don't know if the actual glass underneath would get cracked so easy, but the glass screen protectors, I've actually had 2 get cracked now. They were about £3 each, so I think, let's be honest, the actual device itself is worth £150, so to pay for a glass screen protector for £3, it's not a problem really, is it? So I bought some of them, and I've even got a spare one in case this one breaks again. Although it is a little bit cracked now, I'm not above, you know, wearing it still, even though it's a little bit cracked. So yeah, I just thought I'd give you a review of it. I recommend it, but I mean, if you have got a little bit more money, maybe invest in a bit of a better Garmin. But I certainly don't think the Garmin is necessarily inferior to I certainly don't think it's inferior to a Garmin or anything like that. Like I said, although it tracks you know, via the phone, that's fine obviously if you carry your phone around. Like, let's be honest, who doesn't go out and listen to music on the phone anyway? And you carry your phone everywhere with you, so yeah, it's pretty good, and the GPS is pretty accurate as well. So there has been a couple of times where I did a run and it didn't recognise the GPS, but I reset the watch. Did I reset the watch, or was it the No, I think I reset the app or something like that, and it's fixed it. So it seems to be fine now, not having any problems. I've just recently had a firmware update as well, so I think it was definitely software versus hardware. And yeah, it has been registering my runs fine with GPS data and stuff like that. So it's definitely a good little device. You know, if you're looking to track your sleep, track runs, rides even, just, you know, commutes and stuff, things like that, I'd definitely recommend it. It's basically an all-in-one fitness tracker. Another thing I thought I'd add as well, which is obviously pretty important, battery life. Battery life's fucking fantastic. Lasts about 7 days. 7 days, and you know, that's with a lot of use, you know, constantly looking at it, syncing with Bluetooth quite a lot, even having notifications on, and then it literally stays low battery for about 2 days as well. So I've literally got about 7 full days out of it, 6 of which it wasn't low battery. So battery life obviously very important, you know, sometimes overlooked, so I just thought I'd mention that. Battery life's very good on it, certainly lasts longer than the I believe it's the Vivo Active heart rate, the one that Brittany's got, the Garmin one. It certainly lasts longer than that. I think that's more like 3 days, so, and I don't even think that's half the features. So yeah, very good battery life, and a quick charge as well. I think it's about 2 hours. So let me know what you think to this sort of review, you know, we'll say quick look / review. And yeah, if you found this video useful, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next video, everyone.